my world, watch your clothes. And when I'm through, oh, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right, sure she can. Enter my world, watch your clothes. And when I'm through, oh, why not have it go? Oh, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures. Turn on tuning, hear what I say, but watch it real closely, enjoy your stay. You'll see me painting from up above, and if you like it, give it mad love. Take your time, steady and you can do it right, sure she can. Enter my world, watch your clothes. And when I'm through, oh, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right, sure she can. Enter my world, watch your clothes. And when I'm through, oh, why not have it go? We paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures. We paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures.
Hello guys, it is Shoshi from Shoshi's Minis, and actually I also have a small mic here, right here.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me I was going to be on camera.
He didn't shave for 3 days.
I think it's on 4 days right now.
4 days? It's break. We're here. But I want to thank everybody for coming to, yes, it's Friday. Is it Friday?
It's Friday.
It does not feel like Friday. It's just, somebody on Tumblr recently said that the space between Christmas and New Year's is called Spacemas, because it's the days where you just don't know what day it is, you don't do anything, you don't go to work. All right, I want to make sure I got everything. All right, good. Today is part 3 of the vampire bust, Elsybeta, by Karol Rudyk, and I'm gonna post, hang on one second, I have the PDF here in case you need it. Copy, copy, copy. Sassy Mike is a little sassy, but not too sassy, right? Yes, exactly. There's the PDF. I have not uploaded any of the VODs to YouTube just yet because they're still available on Twitch. So once we finish the series, I'll upload them all together, and then I'll post a link probably on my profile and on my Facebook page. We'll see what happens, but glad to see everybody. And the Moonis, Cat Leanne, Arsenal 43, Chaos Angel, Steve A. May, Texas, LA Crasher, Proto Maker.
You can take me off camera now.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about. Okay, so how about this?
Raid, Genuine Raid.
Oh my gosh, wait, let me get my face back on. Genuine Vision, thank you so much for the raid. Mad love, let's give you some hype. Everybody defend. Oh my gosh. Hey, how is everybody? We're gonna be doing part 3 today. Hold on, let me give some hype to Jan. Hype. And also let me do a shout out. Genuine. Okay, Vision. There we go. I think that worked. Yes, yay, I did it. Welcome everybody from Jan's channel, and I hope everybody had a good morning with Jan, the Janky Heathen. Jan's the Janky Heathen raid. I'm going to show you guys, hold on a second. This is what we're going to be working on. This is the Vampire Bust Elsybeta by Karol Rudyk. And this is the finished product. We're going to be doing giveaways also, so you might want to stick around because this bust is going to be given away. And when we finish, this one will be given away. And I have a third one that will be given away that is just the unpainted, unassembled version. And that will be fresh for you to do the paint along all by yourself. Yes. Now, oh, thank you so much, Flickster, for subscribing. Hi there. Happy holidays. You're 18 now. You can do what I want. Mad love. Let me give a shout out to Flickster. Flickster. Let me spell it right. Did I do it? No, I didn't. That's not right. Hold on. Let me try that again. Somebody help me. Out. Flickstrrr. Let's try that. Did I do it? Yay, I did it. Hey, pumpkin pie. I'm not so great at my own controls here. We got to give some hype as well. Hype. Oh, that's exclamation. See, I told you I can't do the controls. There we go. Hey, Amberden. Good evening, everybody. Oh, it's good to see everybody. It is Friday. We're very close to New Year's. So we've got 3 giveaways coming up. They're only going to be available if you have chat points. Okay, so you have to be a follower. I've already said that subscribers are gonna get a little bit of an edge because they are already supporting me in this channel. And these busts are not cheap. And these are painted Shoshi's busts and one unpainted, of course. But so yeah, you gotta be a follower. You gotta have chat points, and it's gonna be giving the subscribers a little bit of an edge. They get a little bit more of a lead. So, but if you, yay! He thought 18 years old. Aw, Lay Crasher, thank you so much coming in with the Switch Prime for 2 months in a row. That's you guys are great. Thank you. Oh, that helps so much. It really does. Every little bit, every follower, every watcher. The watchers, you guys are some of the most important people because you keep me going. I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't be doing this. So every time you support me, gives me a little bit more motivation. Keep going. How do you earn points? You just sit here and watch. You gotta have your volume on a little bit. At least on you gotta be able to have your volume on just a tiny bit to get points. But Memnor, all you gotta do is have your window open, be watching. Oh yes, the shipping caveat. If you live outside the United States and you win one of my glorious prizes, all I ask is that you help me out with the shipping because it's worth it. You'll be happy. I'm really good at packing too. And the other caveat was that if you are not present when you win, if you don't get back to me within like a short time, then I will not be sending you your stuff, because I do not want to chase people down. So hopefully, do donations give points? Not yet, because I don't really know how to do that. But they're definitely appreciated. Really, it's pretty, yeah, because I don't do it like that, because that way somebody I don't even know can't just come in and like give a ton of money and then get an edge over people who watch all the time, right? Because that's not quite fair. So I just give it to people who are constantly supporting the stream and constantly watching. You can earn points sitting in chat. Usually the way we do it is we have a ticket be worth a certain amount of points, and aw, thank you, Lake Crasher. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Also, I don't know for sure, but if you do cheer bits, do that hashtag charity, because I think that might still be going on. Because then not only do I get that bits money, but that Twitch will donate. Like they'll match that and donate that to a charity. The caveat, we did the caveat. we need a command for the caveat, don't we? All right, we need to do some painting overhead. There we go. Aw, thank you, Miss Half Damage. Did it work? Charity testing? Nope, it didn't work. So it must be over. But that's good, now we know. No, the other one. Oh, I said the caveat about how you have to be around, or you have to at least get back with me within a few, like 24 hours or so. Yes, you can check your points by doing exclamation point points. Memnor, you've been earning points this whole time, so do exclamation point points, and it'll tell you how many you have. Because every time you come and watch me, you get some points. So do check points, exclamation point points. Let's take a look at what we've got. This is what we've done so far. We worked on the hair, we worked on the crown, we worked on the skull. All of that is done. I also worked on the wings. There's 4 wings, and we only painted 1 yesterday. And, oh sorry, we also started on the feathers. We just did the basic work on the feathers as well. So I got all of the wings done for the most part. And I want to show you a trick. So can you see how there's a little bit of gray on these, and it kind of gives them almost like a transparent look. It's not as much on this side. So the way I did that was I took a little tiny bit of Abyssal Blue. I'm going to put some on my palette, and I'm going to thin it out to a very thin glaze. I'll show you. Yes, check your points. We won't be doing the giveaway today, I don't think. We'll see. We might. We'll see how far we get in the painting. That's kind of what I base it on. I want to do, okay. So do you see this? We're going to give away one, when it's time to give stuff away, we'll do it one every one of my normal streams. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my normal streams. Do you see how thin this is? When I go to my handy dandy glaze testing thing here, I think, nope, it's pretty, well, yeah, actually that's about a medium glaze. You should be able to see your little bullet there through it pretty well. It's either medium to light, but it's almost entirely water. Am I planning on streaming on New Year's Eve? No, not New Year's Eve, because I've got friends coming over when to play Kingdom Death. Haha. Okay, so this one I already did, so I gotta show you this. No, this is the one I already did. You see how I just put the thinnest glaze of this blue, and what it does is it creates a thin layer, and it gives it sort of a transparent look, even though, you see what I'm saying? This makes it look ever so barely transparent. Okay, that gives that wing a membrane, a feel to it. So that was something I was playing around with just this morning, and I thought I would show you. Got to keep it very thin and try to keep the brush marks out of it. That's how I made that, and it really does look transparent. Where do I get the glaze tester from? You can go to benkomitz.com, and he and Matt Sexwish sell these. You can get a whole little book of them from them. So that's Ben here. I'll write it here. benkomitz.com. Komets. It's like comets, only it's German. Yeah, Ben sells them, and Ben and Matt design them. I'm trying to think of what they're called. But look, I can wipe it back off. It's almost waterproof, which is really nice. And they have black ones and they have these light ones. And I like to use them when I'm doing a paint along, so I can show you exactly how to get to the right glaze consistency. It's so handy for teaching. You don't really need it if you're just using them for, I mean, you can use them for yourself if you're following my paint along, but you don't need it. It's mostly just for me to show you guys. All right, so that's the first. I've got all those done. Now I want to show you. I almost finished this one, this wing. I'm gonna go ahead and show you this. Now this is the look that we're going for. Let me get some light on this. There we go. I've just taken the zenithal lighting and I've gone over all of the dark spots with the Arbuckle's brown. Okay, and then I took my lighter color. This is the Orcish Dermis Fantasy Scale 75. Scale Fantasy and Games 19, and I went over all of the little light parts, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to demo this on this one so they both look the same. You know what, my camera is a little bit off. There we go. Perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do, dilution testers. Thank you, Nixton Minis. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you 5 points right now. And that's the other reason, that's the other way you can earn points, guys. Pay attention, because you can get points for being helpful and giving me good advice and helping my chat by giving advice and helping. Let's see, gift, Nixton Minis, 5. Yep, so you'll see me give points quite a bit. It also encourages you guys to chat, which helps keep me going. All right, so the first thing, I've got my Arbuckle's brown. Arbuckle's brown is Scale 75 Fantasy Games 34. Arbuckle's brown, and we use a lot of this in this color. Okay, got the right thing here? Yep, this is the right one. And I'm just going, basically, I'm going back over all of the dark areas. I'm just reinforcing where the zenithal priming was. This is fairly easy. Just gotta keep the brush sharp. Ah, no. This one was stuck on with just a little bit of the Bondic, which didn't hold up for me. I get this little spine completely dark. Find the little edges of the feathers and paint in the creases. All the creases get a nice dark shadow. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so here you can see, let me move my light a little bit. There we go. That's perfect. Cover up all, there were some mold lines on this that couldn't be removed, but that's okay. Make this whole little spine. with that dark color. This has a little divot here. See how it bends in? See how it bends in? So that gets a little bit more shadow. I'm going in all of the creases in between the feathers, hitting the shadows parts. Okay. And you do not have to be perfect, but I'm just showing you this is the approach that I'm taking on. This is a scale color brush, Claptraps. This is a number 1. I also have a scale color. Where is it? There's currently a sale going on right now on scale 75. I believe it's on scale 75. Yes, this is the 0. It's a little bit finer than the 1. And I also had my Redgrass Games brush that I've been using. This is my 00. Got a little extra paint in there. There we go. So those are my brushes that I've been using, but I also have Winsor Newton. The brush doesn't matter. What matters is that you're comfortable with it and it's got a sharp tip. Okay? Now, this is the part where I've got to take glasses off. So if you want to get my attention, do @Shoshi's Minis, just like you guys have been doing. And this is where I'm just going to go in and I'm going to paint all of the parts that have the white primer still showing. And I'm basically highlighting each feather individually where it already has highlight. If it's mostly a dark feather, then just go back to the feather that has that little bit of highlighting. This is on the inside of the feather anyway, so it's not, and this is, I'm using the Orchis Dermis. It's not going to have a ton of light on it anyway because it's on the inside of the head. And you can see I'm just using that zenithal priming to my advantage and glazing back over the white part. It's almost like it paints itself because you did the priming. Remember we talked about how the priming, I did the priming video, and the reason why I did that is because that's really one of the most important parts of this technique. And that is all, and then I flip it and do the same thing, maybe going a little harder with my highlights on this because I want, this is on the outside, so that means that the highlights are going to be a little bit more obvious. Remember to leave all the dark shadows where they need to be. Our last highlight will probably be with either Moonray Flash, which is a fantasy color, or Pale Skin. They're really not that much different of a color. One is satin and one is not. Okay, let me check chat real quick. All right, yes. You guys are so awesome. This is so far been, I told you guys that it's been a very anxiety-filled paint along. However, you've made it really nice for me to be able to come back to every day. We've been doing this every day. We're gonna continue doing it on every single day until it's done. And like I said, I'm gonna be doing the giveaway at some point. So now I'm gonna just take a look, and on the edges of these feathers, I'm gonna hit it with some highlight right here. Some of this we had to fix with Bondic, and it painted up really nice. There's a little bump there, but that's okay. All right, that's about it. And now they look, well, so now I compare them. This one is brighter, so that means that you can tell that this had, but they definitely look feathery from what I can see. Now, I'm gonna try the Moonray Flash, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna use my Pale Skin. Moonray, where are you? Now I have to find it. I probably put it side or no, it fell off my desk. Here it is. From the darkness, we see the light. Not long now, yes. Hi, Maroon, how are you? So I want to show you, this is Moonray Flesh right here. You can see color-wise, it's almost identical. The biggest difference, it really is identical. One is satin and one is flat. Pale skin is flat. And I'm gonna go ahead and probably, you know what? I'm gonna try both and see which one gets a better effect. How are you, Maroon? What's been going on? And Almost Ed says, why you're so good at these? You should never feel anxious doing this live. Please support and problem solving if we are all here watching. Yes. Oh my gosh. You know, you guys make it much better. I don't know. I think there was something about the fact that people wanted this so bad and that it needed so much structure, right? It needed a lot of structure. I had it in my mind that if I were to do this perfectly, that I would set dates, I would do everything, you know, so that everybody would be able to set their time and work on it. And then I just realized that that is just not how I work. I'm a very spontaneous person. I'm not so good at planning. And so, yeah. So what I figured out was, you know what, just do it. People will like it. It will be good. They've already come to expect what you do. So just do it, just do it. And so that's helped a lot. Yes, the fantasy games do have more of a satin finish, and they also are a little more on the streaky side. So let's try a little bit of each one, and I'll show you what the difference looks like. So hang on, let me finish reading chat, and then I'm going to take my glasses off. Maroon's doing good. Wondered if you should start Arcana today. Yeah. Expectation versus reality. Yes, it's all working out. Can't wait for my paint to come. Awesome. Okay, glasses are off. Again, this is the part where you want to focus in on those fine highlights. This is, we're using the Moonray Flesh. I'm doing the fine little highlights to pick out the parts I want to accentuate the most. I want it to look really feathery and soft. So focus on making it look, just softly brush over. Don't try to make hard lines. That's another reason why you might want to use the satin. It's a little bit more transparent. A little bit, nope, see, I don't want too much on the edges. I actually don't want it to be, if you look at the drawing, there's very little of the Moonray Flesh. It would be like right here in the center, and then these would be dark. So that's where I'm focusing most of the attention of my lighter color, just where those really raised edges of the feathers are. And if I need to go back in and smooth a little bit of orcish dermis, I like saying that so much. Orcish dermis. Soften that if I need to. I don't want it to be too ivory. I want it to be more pink. So that looks good to me. Flip it now. Just a little bit. Remember, this is on the inside, so you don't need as much highlighting. Just where some of that light's gonna hit and bounce off that feather. Listen to me, I'm all Bob Ross today. Ah, happy little feather. Okay. I'm not doing tons of detail, and that's partly because this particular project is sort of supposed to be a more accessible version of this bust. I want people who don't paint display level all the time to be able to feel like they could tackle this bust and it would look good. And so that's why we're doing this sort of priming. And like I said, the way that it's sculpted so well that it really does practically paint itself. All right, let's take a look at this side. So this side I already finished. They look pretty close. They're not twins, they're sisters. That's pretty cool. It does look like that he just flipped it and then made a reverse mold though. They're very similar. Okay, see the difference on those? So now we're gonna go in, paint some of the highlights with the pink. Just a little bit. See how the ridges catch? You really don't have to be ultra sticky. Just use the edge of your brush. Okay, now I'm gonna check chat. Hey Teviston, how's it going? Stipend. Wow, that's a cool, what is that? Owl Access Pass. Stipend, tell me what that little Owl Access Pass is. I've never seen that. It's been a pleasure seeing this bus crop up on Instagram. Oh good, I'm so glad. Stipend, I've been actually kind of thinking about my Instagram and my Facebook and how I worry about how, I worry a lot. Can you tell? Is this like a theme? Anxiety, it is my friend. It is my foe. I've been worried about how my Instagram and my Facebook presence have been just mostly advertisements for my Twitch, which is great for you guys who come here. But what about the people who don't watch Twitch? Is that what they want to see? I've really been thinking about my content and how I really want to change things up for 2019. Figure out a way to promote my Twitch without it looking like ads all the time. And I want to do more blog style and vlog style content because I have a lot more fun with that. Oh, it's from the first season of Overwatch League. Oh, neat. I did not know that. I don't game anymore, so I know I'm on Twitch and I don't game. Let's see. Oh, and also Claptraps, the fantasy and the fantasy set. It really does complement the. Hold on, I got a little scratch. Oh, I'm sorry, I just coughed in your ears. I feel so bad. The fantasy, it complements the scale color range really, really well. All right, so that looks nothing like that, but here we go. It's close enough. Get a little bit of this pale ivory on here. All right. Time to break down the myth of when I get better pile. The better the sculpt, the easier it is to paint. Just jump into the good busts and minis and try to learn on the lesson. Oh, absolutely, Zab, that's a really good idea. Yes, practice on the less, and you know who's got the better sculpts and which ones are more impressive. Hold on, I gotta cough again. I'm gonna mute myself this time so I'm not coughing in your ears. There, that's better. Ooh, hello, Super Sarah. Are you working again? Or are you home on break? All right, we just finished up these feathers. Let me make sure they look okay. Okay, looks good enough. Okay, that's how they should look. We're all done with all the wings and all the feathers. And if you want to go back and make some of your wings look a little bit more transparent, take a little bit of this abyssal blue, thin it out to a glaze that is mostly water. It's just mostly, it's like a thin, transparent, you can barely see, it looks like dirty water. It's like slight, dingy water. And I'm just glazing that over the edge of this to give it that transparency look. See? It actually looks better on the smaller wings. Okay. You are at work? Aw. That's okay. I'm so glad to have you watching even though you're at work. All right. Got a little bit. This one didn't look at, I think the smaller ones have a better, maybe when it dries it looks more transparent also. Let me thin that out a little bit more. The Abyssal Blue does have some sediment qualities to it, and what that means is like you'll see little particles of pigment. So you kind of have to brush that around so that you don't get, you can see those tiny little specks of pigment. I just need to get those off. It's not gonna bug me too much if they're there though. All right, that's good enough. The legendary Boo Boy, Boo Bye. Guys, how do you get the things you have on your names? Oh, you have to let's see, there's different ways. So if you have a little, what's it called? It's a little sword. That means you're a mod. If you have a little heart, that means you're a subscriber. And there's different colors of hearts for different lengths of time that people have subscribed. So if you mouse over each icon, you can see that Cat Leanne is a 1-year subscriber. And Super Sarah is a 6-month subscriber. And Super Sarah also has Twitch Prime. She has a little crown. And Amberden has Cheer 10, which means, or Cheer 100, because he's cheered 100 bits. And he also has a VIP, which I give out to special VIP awesome people in my chat who come here all the time. Amberden is a 1-year subscriber as well. So and then Arsenal is just subscribed pretty recently, so probably hasn't hit the 6-month mark yet. Yeah, bring on the new year. I'm all about it. All right, we are done with the wings for the most part. We might go back to them for touch-ups later, but now we're going to move on to the fun part, which is the armor and the wings. Which would you guys like to see first? Normally, what I would do is paint from the inside out. So I would paint this, whatever this weird, I guess this is part of her wings because she's got them wrapped around her. We can do that first. Probably should do that first. Oh, you want to see the armor? Let's tell you what, let me show you. This part is really fast and really easy, and I'll show it to you, and then we'll go to the armor. How's that? Okay. So I will get my brush. I've got, again, I need to look at my example, and we've used mostly the, this is my favorite color for her, Arbuckle's Brown. We're going to use lots of Arbuckle's Brown for the rest of the mini. Arbuckle's Brown all over the back and on the wings. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just 1 second. Here we go. Arbuckle's Brown on there. And we also need Mayhem Red. These are both the Fantasy scale colors. Fantasy Games 34 and Fantasy Games Fantasy and Games 03, Mayhem Red and Arbuckle's Brown. And we may later use a tiny bit of Aldebaran Red, maybe. But I'm not going to put that on my palette just yet because I don't know if I need it or not. Given she's a vampire, those could be grave wrappings. They are, but not the way I've painted them. And if you look close, the way they are wrapped, it looks like they're part of her wings, because this is like little claws, like that's like her thumbs or whatever. So I think they're wings. They could be grave wrappings, but they have the exact same skin-like properties as the wings. So I think that's what they might be. So it's up to you. It's your mini. If you want to make grave wrappings, you should do that. Okay. Got paint on my fingers already. That's what happens when you get it all over the cap. Make sure your fingers are clean, guys, when you are painting, so that you don't get your mini completely. All right, now we're taking this. I'm going to thin this out. Can you see? Let me pull this up to the camera. It's about a 50-50 transparency. What I mean by that is I can see somewhat through my paint. If I were to put this on the dilution tester, it's probably going to be in the medium to light. Let's try it. Ooh, no, hang on. Yeah, it's definitely a medium to light. I can see through my paint mostly. Yeah, I would say it's a heavy, medium, or light. Just gonna depend. But we're going to, because our Buckles Brown is a satin, it's more transparent. Watch what happens. We've got the white and the dark already on here. When I layer this on, look what happens. The white shines through. It's like it highlights itself. And it's so simple and smooth. And you're just going to do a simple, smooth glaze up to the hair. Cover everything. And so, because it's transparent, see what it's doing as it's drying? You want to paint quickly, you don't want any lines. Get some more water on my palette so I can make more glaze. You don't want those crunchy lines, so you paint fairly quickly. You can always go extra steps thicker later, but keep it thin to start. If you want to make it less transparent later, you can, but you can't. We gotta go up here to the shoulder. You can't make it lighter easily, so start light and then slowly bring it up, but don't. See how that looks? Can you guys see? All right. Okay, if you get some on the armor, because really the armor is almost the same color. All right, now we're gonna flip it over, get this part on here. Make sure, you know, it's okay to get this whole bit actually. This whole bit can be that same color. This is the part where the music gets faster, and I need to not be faster. It's so funny. Now it's slowing down a little bit, thank goodness. Yeah, I'm pulling my paint into the creases. That helps me have a smooth consistency all over the mini. I'm pushing it into the crevices, and then I don't have any blobs of paint all over the place. Does that make sense? Okay. In the dark shadow parts, it doesn't matter how thick the paint is. It can be thick or thin. All right, now pull it around the front. I need to thin it. See where it's not as transparent? That's where I load my brush up with some more water, and I just use the paint that's on it, pulling it into the creases, just like this. It's still not very dark over here. I'm going to add just a little bit more paint to the front, underneath where the shadows would be. Uh-oh, I got some on her hair. When you do that, grab a wet brush and just push it into the creases. It can become shadow. Color is gorgeous. I love this color. Wait till we put the red on top of it. Okay. I got a little paint on her skin here, so I'm gonna try to mop it up with my brush. There's a little bit of pinks. Now, I might have to go in with white and fix it. Oh. Yeah, I'll probably have to go back in and fix that with white. I got most of it up. You have to mop it up. You have to dry off the brush all the way and then mop it up like... All right, now, remember where the whites are, right? We also have our visual reference. We're gonna be looking at this the whole time to see. Notice that this part here is almost black, and that's okay. It's okay if it's almost black. I gotta look with my glasses on this time. All right, so the bottom part's nearly black. I can use more water and glaze it up to the top. Sometimes I have too much in my brush, so I have to mop it. See, we're using the under painting that we did with the priming. That's why it's so important. See how that's lighter? That under painting is going to help us establish where our highlights are going to go. See that? I need to put my palette over here. Let's see if I can do this on this side. Bear with me while I switch stuff around. Here we go. You can see that better now. Okay. Do you need to be an Amazon Prime user, or should you just subscribe? You don't have to be an Amazon Prime. You just, if you have it, you get a free Twitch sub with your subscription. So you can use that, you know, at any time for anybody. Once a month, you get a free Twitch Prime. But if you don't have Twitch Prime, you don't need Amazon to get it. I mean, you just can sub. You don't have to have it. If you live outside of the United States, a lot of times I don't think it's as easy to have Twitch Prime anyway. I can't remember how it works. All right, see how that, now when this dries, you're gonna see a bigger difference. Let's get the other side. Need more water. See that? A little bit more paint. Aw, the legendary Boo Boy just subscribed. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You have given 8 gifts in this. Oh, Tevison just gifted. Oh, Kevison, thank you so much. Guys, let's give some hype. Hype for Tevison and the legendary Boo Boy, who is now a subscriber thanks to Tevison gifting. That's actually a really, really great way to get a sub, is to have another fan gift another fan, because it's the community helping itself, and it's so much more fun too. All right, I gotta pick this cat hair or whatever this is on here. I think it's a brush. It's a brush bristle that got stuck in my. There we go. All right, get the last of this wash on here. It's not a wash, it's a glaze. And make sure it's thin enough. The back of the wings cover nice. There we go. Okay. So you can see, even though it's gonna have a very leathery look too. One, because of the sculpt, and two, because of the color and the satin. If you used a flat paint on this, it's not going to have the same effect as using a satin. Now look at this. He's got veins and everything sculpted into this. It's so good. All right, I need to let that dry. Okay, we can start on this side with my Mayhem Red. Let's take a look. I've gone over the highlights, and I might need to go back in and put some darker shades in here, but I'm just gonna see what this looks like first of all. Okay, this is the Mayhem. I'm just putting it on the edges to see how that looks, and it does look like I need to go back in. So, okay, so I know I used something. Let me look at my list, because I know I used, I'm going to look, black leather, that's what it might have been. Maybe, Arbuckle's Bare Behirite red. Let me see what that red was. Might have been more of a brown. Give me 1 second while I find this color because it's on the PDF. Bloodfest Crimson, nope. That's Arbuckle's. Did I use purple? Violet? No, I did not. Pirate red. It is, Now, it doesn't do you any good. Oh, here it is. Okay, it's this one. This is what I use on the front, so I don't need that yet. Let's try. I think it was Negro Gray. Yeah, it was Negro Gray. So, it's another color. Hold on. There it is. This is it's a little bit bluish gray. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the shadows. This is going to act as our black. Let me get back to my screen so I can see what you guys are saying. Okay. Yeah, that was really nice of you, Teviston. Thank you so much. And you can use all those emotes now, Legendary. So I have a lot of emotes for this channel, so you have access to all of the first tier emotes. Just like all of my subs do. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna go here underneath. See that? And I'm painting where the dark bit already was. See that? I need to water down my paint just a little bit because I don't want it to be scratchy. On the edges of things where the paint was already dark. And that's just to emphasize that really dark scariness of her. This is Negro Gray. And Negro is black in Spanish, so it's basically just the black gray. Okay. I'm getting paint on my hands in the front. This is something that is like tricky. That's why I want to have this stick here. See how much darker everything got when I put that on? Wash is going to be diluted with more acrylic medium, but flows and retains. Where glaze is going to be more water. Yes, that's a really good way of describing it. Thank you, Ray Silver. That's a good way to describe it. See how much contrast we got with that? The satin paints blend really nicely. You don't have to try super hard with those. All of this can be dark down here. You don't need to have, because this is all dark anyway. To the side. Okay, now in this part, in these little ridges, I want the dark part. And then I'm gonna look at my reference. This is very black on the tip here. Let me show you. Here we go. Now, feather this out. We've got the wet paint here, but we want to blend it. And I feather it out, and this is what a feathering, feathering out the glaze like this. I put this down, And then I get the paint with just water. And see, I'm using almost like a mop-like stroke, and see how it goes from dark to light. I have dust all over my fingers. What you explained makes sense, yes, definitely. The Ray says, I'm assembling my bust still. Do the larger wings go close to the neck, or do they go close to the shoulders? We did the large wings on the outside. I think it balances her a little better. I think they fit better too, but you're free to do it however you want. It's your bust. That's basically when we built it, that's what we did. Okay, same thing with this side, nice and dark edges on there. Hello. Feather it out with the washy mopping brush stroke. And because it's so dark, you shouldn't have any crunchy lines because it's just dark. Okay, now all this in here, this is again, fill in the dark edges with the, there we go. And now we gotta mop it out because it's too harsh. There we go, smoothing it with more water. See the difference? You let it kind of pool in the crevices. On every one of them. And then there's a nice dark shadow right here. And again, feather, feather, feather. Okay. We got our nice contrast. Notice the difference between these two sides. This one has a lot more of the black. You can add more. Like I said, you can always add more. It's harder to take it away. Build it up slow if you need to. Okay. Nice and dark. Glazes tint the area, so you tend to unload your brush quite a bit before hitting the mini. Yes. So I've got light. I don't know if you've seen this. I always paint with paper towel, and then I'm always controlling the amount of water that I have. Like a water. Well, I paint like a watercolor. So here I've got water all over my brush. I'm going to do this. Now I look at the paper towel and I see how much that's still got a glaze on it, but it's a very thin glaze, right? So I add more paint, test it again, not enough water, add it until it's just right. See, that would be probably just right for a painting. It's just practice. Your swirl is higher than center. Oh, I know, I just noticed that. That's why it's bugging me. Okay, so let's pull it down. There we go. That's much better. Yay! Thank you, Super Sarah. Let me give you some points, because again, helpful advice for the stream is always rewarded. There we go. All right, hopefully that's drying. We can see now where the light parts are a lot easier. Now I've got my big brush. I don't want a big brush for this next bit. I think I'm gonna go back down. This one is a little too small. So I'm gonna go to my 0. It's perfect. See, I can still put quite a bit of water in it. I'm gonna put water onto my palette, get some Mayhem Red, test it. Okay, Mayhem Red is very transparent because it is a satin. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at my example first. We're almost there with it. And I'm just gonna basically glaze onto the edges of this cloak. And then I can rinse out my brush and then again, mop it up to the top of that line to test it. And that looks perfect. See how that turned out? I put it on the edge where it's gonna be concentrated. Concentrate the pigment on the edges of the fabric, even on the dark parts. Rinse out the brush, dry out the brush, and then mop it up to the top of that next line. So here we go, smooth and blended. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, now we're gonna do this again with the Mayhem Red. Is it Mayhem Red? Yeah. On the, this is on the apex of this fabric crease, right? All of the apexes of the fabrics are just gonna get that Mayhem Red right there. And I don't want a crunchy line, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mop it out, glaze it up to the top of the, and so it's gradually getting more blended. It's very transparent, so it acts like it's a glaze. Like basically, if you're using a wet palette, you're using these satin paints, they're glazing themselves over time. I just got paint there. Be very careful. Don't try to do it too fast and then get paint in her hair, because you want to keep that. You need to mask off the hair. You don't want to get any colors in the hair, because that will be forever trying to get paint out of there. All right, notice it's drying lighter. So just put another layer of red so it's not pink. You don't want pink on the back of this. You want it to be like a leathery, dark, dark, dark red. Okay, so I put it on the edge, rinse out my brush a little bit, feather it into the crease. There we go. Starting to look really good, isn't it? Okay. Finish these because I don't want to go onto the front until I'm all got it all done. Otherwise, I'm going to miss it and forget it. Get the apex of all of the sides up here. Remember, it's going to dry satin. All right, and let's do the backs of the wings real quick. Mostly these are going to be mostly dark, so it's not going to need. And again, you're just going to glaze over that with the Mayhem. Anywhere you see sort of a thin out, and if you need to get some more Arbuckles brown and then blend it, wet blend it in together, that's good. See how that looks, wet blended? Please ask questions, guys, if you have them, because if you have a question, then somebody else who's watching this VOD after the fact is probably going to have the same question. Also, and I'm going to reiterate this, if you're watching the VOD on YouTube and you do have a question, leave a comment. I will answer it. I will also answer any questions if you want to message me directly on Facebook. I'm pretty accessible that way, so I'm very helpful. You can show me how you've been doing. If you get stuck on something and you want to show it to me and be like, I need some help on this spot. What am I doing? I don't know what you mean by this. You can just ask. Hey, Sneaky, how are you? All right, so we finished the back. And let's look at the front now and see the back. See what that red did? Front, this is the back, front. Now we're gonna turn, we need the lovely, awesome, you can print this out yourself on Karol Rudyk's website. Oh, is it stretch break time? It is. All right, it is stretch break. Everybody get up for a minute. We're gonna take a stretch break. I got a soda waiting for me in the fridge. I'm gonna go get it. I'm thirsty. Everybody stretch. All right, give me 1 second. And I'll be back. You stretch. My back top. That big stretch. All right. Yay. Okay. How is everybody doing? We ready? Let's take a look at our example. Notice there's very little red. Just in, look at how small. Oh, Zeech. Did I say that right, Zeech? Thank you for the follow. Welcome. All right, take a look at how small this highlight is. But it makes it look really reflective, doesn't it? It's very small. That's how small most of the highlights of these reds are gonna be, okay? And if you look, that's how small they already are from the priming, so you really don't have to do a lot, okay? Ooh, got a little nerve pinch in my finger. That's weird. Gotta be careful. Okay. Get my 1. This is my, or my 0. That's my 0. Ah. I'm gonna look at my reference. Try not to knock things over into my paint. Okay. Got my Mayhem red. And I'm gonna focus a lot of my reds right here. And if it doesn't get up to the luminosity, do you see how this is not luminous? This is luminous, this is not luminous. And I'm gonna show you how to get that luminosity when it's already dark. But first I want that to be a little bit red anyways. Over here I need it to be red. Okay. So now I think this is the point where I use that other color of red. This is the Beharit red. I think that's how I say that. It's actually almost an orange. Let's see what happens. And I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure this is what I did. Do I find, yes it does, Spear. So that's why you gotta be careful, like not to touch stuff a lot. That's why I've got it on a little stick. And it, the other day I was, I left it face down because I tend to lay things down, and I rubbed off. The good thing is it's not hard to cover. It doesn't act like other paints where I have a hard time covering it and like you have these little craters. So there is that. Hold on 1 second, I lost my chat. There we go. So that's good. I'm gonna shake this up. It rubs off, and you can spray prime stuff in between. Or not prime, sorry, not prime. You wanna set it. You can set it with like a, ooh, look at, see how orange that is? That's not, it's probably the same family as Orchish dermis, but it's a little bit more orange, a little bit more red. Okay, let's try this. If this doesn't work, we're gonna figure out a flat color to put under it first. Okay, so let me look at my reference. I'm gonna add it in small spots first. There, yeah, that actually looks pretty good. You see how it's starting to get more luminous? Put it on all the spots that get a little highlighted. Super cool. Okay. Yeah, that actually was what it was. Put some more. Might need to do more than one coat. We're going to put it on here in the little ridge. I'm painting high again, aren't I? That's okay. I'm going to get out my Aldebaran red. This is also an orangey red. Yeah, it's very orangey. Ooh, see all that medium that came out with it? You need to shake these paints pretty well. Okay, there we go, that's good. Now, watch this. This is a flat one. When you put a flat one underneath a glaze, it's gonna cover a little better. Oh yeah, there we go. See that? That's what I wanted. I wanted that luminosity, so I needed that orange. See that? Feather it, make sure that use a little bit of the red to feather it into the darker color. I gotta take glasses off. See, the red is transparent, it acts like a glaze, so it's nice, it's a good transition color for the orange. And look at how it looks like on top of that orange too. It just pops red. Red is a tricky color. See, it's very streaky. Let me see how I did it here. Looks like I used a little tiny bit of Orchesdermis. A little bit, no. Back to red. Orchesdermis was, well, maybe, actually maybe. No, it's too pink. Try a little bit of this Moonray Flesh, a little bit, there we go. Yeah, the Moonray Flesh tints it a little bit more toward the pink. And we can add the orange again. See, we're creating layers, stained glass layers. And they shine through each other to create the luminosity. Okay. All right, back with the orange. We're gonna use the Behirit red. There we go. That's nice and bright orange. Now it is a satin, so it is going to be streaky a little bit. See that? It's starting to come out good though. Pull it out of the creases. You don't want it in the creases. You want it on the apexes. I need to go back in with some. This is a little bit of the arbuckles to get my shadows back and blend it a little better. Oh yeah, that looks really, really pretty. Sometimes it's a waiting game. You have to wait for stuff to dry and then you can do another layer. The satin does take a little bit longer to dry. I do have to say that. All right, I'm taking my Aldebaran red. I'm gonna try to, this is the flat color. It's gonna behave completely differently. It's not gonna streak on me as much. I'm gonna cover all of the ridges. Make sure to feather it out. That looks exactly how I want it to look right there. So sometimes I teach myself how to do it and then I do it a different way, completely different way the next time I do it. Okay. You know, those look good. Get this apex over here. This is the flat color on top of the satin. It's gonna be a lot more prominent on top of the satin because it's not as transparent. And that's good because then we can layer the transparent color over it. It's all playing with the properties of the paint. See? So, flat over satin and then glazed with satin again. This orange has got more brightness, more luminosity, so that means that it's going to shine through the other layers like light, like sunlight. See that? Okay. Flip this upside down. See, anywhere I've got that light already, I'm going to stick that orange. Looks good. You guys see? Now, I want to point out something. Orange is the complement of what? To see if anybody in here knows. What's the complementary color to orange? We're going to show you some color theory here in a second. I'll give you 5 points to anybody who knows what the complementary color. Yes, Ratcon gets 5 points and so does Super Sarah. You guys were the first two to guess. So blue is the opposite of orange, and what that means is Arbuckle's brown has a lot of blue in it, and you can see by adding the orange here, this becomes a cool red. Cool, warm, they contrast, and the warm comes forward and the cool recedes, and you get a really rich red from that. Okay, orange. Blue, red, orange, red. Red has, remember how we talked about warm blacks versus cold blacks, and how most of the grays and the whites in here are warm or warm-ish. Oh no, do you see what I just did? That is so me. Give me 1 second. I still need to give some points out. Hold on. Okay. Let's see, gift, Super Sarah. And Rat Kong. And it looks like Crocodile and Arsenal 43 also answered. Let's see if I can do this again. Gift, Crocodile, and Arsenal 45. Don't forget, you can use these points to win this bust. One of these painted busts will be two of these painted busts will be given away, as well as one unpainted bust, one unpainted, unassembled. Here we go. All right, all the points are out. Check this out. So, it's a purpley red, or sorry, a bluey red rather, versus the orange. And that's what makes that look so rich. Doesn't that look good? Now, see, let's look at the difference here. Now I'm gonna go back with my barite red, and only on the spots where I want it to be the highest highlight. I think I need a little bit of this pale flesh here. I'm just gonna try it and see what happens when I put that down. Pale flesh is gonna give it again a lighter canvas. I need to make sure it's really smooth. Let's let that dry and see what happens. I need to smooth it out with the red over here. Okay. Where's my lighter red? This is my orange. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. That looks really good right there. Contrast, contrast, contrast. Sorry, I'm painting high again. Oh, see the comment above. How am I? Crocodile says never get to catch me on because I'm... Oh, you're in Australia. Yeah, it is quite early. I'm doing good, Crocodile, and I'm glad that you were able to catch me. You know, Friday's probably your best bet because that's when you can actually be home during the weekend. So, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm going to be coming to Australia in April. I'm so excited. We're going to be in Brisbane, Canberra, and Kangaroo Valley, and Sydney. I'm so, so, so excited. I've never been to Australia, and it'll probably be the only time I'll ever go. There we go. Look at that pop. It might be a little bit too much pop. We gotta let that dry, and I'll come and tame that down with the red. There are so many wings. There are lots of wings. That is true. Sorry, Ray. That's funny. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see, but that's a little bit streaky. It doesn't show up on camera too much. What I can do is I can wait for it to dry. This side is more dry, so I can take that red, pop that on there on the top, thin it out with the glaze so it looks more red rather than orange again. See the difference? It's not a big difference, but let's see if I can add a little bit of that orange in there. Orange and red are very transparent, so you have to work with that. There we go. So that's dry, although hopefully it won't reactivate. Oh, more mist. You're only able to say hello because you're off, or because you're not off to the local gaming store, so you thought you'd get the chance. Ah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to take my red. I think I'm only going to do it on the edges here so I can transition so it doesn't look crazy red everywhere. I'm going to leave that orange in the middle. That looks good to me. Now I got to go back over here. Everywhere I had the orange, I'm going to go over here with this red. That looks good. See how fast that paints up though? I mean, we're just using the paint property, the priming. All right, so for the back, we want to keep this relatively dark. I'm just going to use my orange on the edges. Keep it small. Yeah, I can use the side of my brush and kind of wick it. Wicky, wicky. Doing wonderful work as always, though. Usually check out my social media stuff. Aw, thank you so much, Crocodile. Really, really means a lot. I really appreciate it. Okay, so there we go with the oranges. Pop, 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 pop. See how that pops? If you feel like it's a little too orangey and you want to make yours a little bit more deep, pop some red on top of that instead. I'm just going to go a little bit up here and a little bit up here. Bring up a little bit of highlight. See how that works? That's it. That's mostly it. It's so fast. That's the gist. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of my red and a little bit of my orange together because it's still streaky here and it's bugging me. I don't like streaks. I don't mind not having blended, but streaks bug me. All right. There. Boom. Okay. Now, I just noticed her lips, I want to have that same top quality that her wings have. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of this Barrett blue. I think that's what it is. Just go over the bit of her lip right here on the bottom lip. And there, that pops. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that looks good. Just a little bit of that orange over there. A little bit of a glaze. Look at, see how much difference that made? Holy cow. Okay. Ah! Oh no! Dropping things. It's bad when I don't have my glasses on. I'm usually knocking myself into my own things. Joxio, how are you? Welcome. Okay, what's next? Amanita, oh my gosh, thank you so much for following. Are you named after the character from Sense8? Because if you are, I'm already a fan. That's awesome. I love that character too. All right. Where are we going next with this? Let's see. Let's look at the skulls. And then we've got this bodice. And then we've got these little hook things here. All right, so let's do the bodice first, because that's underneath the skulls and underneath the little arm hook things. These are so weird. They don't really make a lot of sense to me. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to do the same effect instead of, let's see, let's take a look at what I did here. It looks to me like I did a glaze of the Arbuckle's brown over the whole bodice of about 50-50, it looks like. And we can always add some other colors. Okay. Get this whole bodice area. Dab says, Shoshi, it's high goth fashion. It doesn't have to make sense. Darling, yes, that is true. It is high goth. You're right. You can have chains and wallet chains and all that. You guys probably would not believe this, but in the 90s, I was well, you would probably believe this part. I was part of a vampire LARP, One World by Night. And we went out and we would go to goth night, and I would dress, you know, like a goth, and we would LARP in the goth club. How nerdy can you get? It was really fun though. All right, a little bit of red, a little bit of mayhem red here. Oh, I forgot. I need to do my arbuckles here on this little skull. Notice that I just kind of did a thing and then I wicked off the top. That's because I'm going to add. Hey, Pixie Lou, how's it going? Okay, you ended up clipping off the hooks on the bottom wings. One of them was poorly cast and the other one wasn't, and kind of regretting it now. Also, I was a goth and a kid in the 90s. I wasn't a kid in the 90s, but I was hanging out with the goth kids. You still have Trip NYC pants and everything. Oh my gosh. Well, I was a Hot Topic goth if I was anything. I was a poser, and I didn't mind. And what's funny about this is that I didn't care that I was a poser, and I just had fun. I liked it because the goth club was one of the few clubs where you could go and not get completely like hit on, and you know, because I live in a college town. All right, wait, before I go any more into the story, I gotta show you. Hold on. There's a We're using the orange, the we're using the Aldebaran red. And we're going over, I need to find a way to hold this. There's a band right here. I'm just using the side of my brush to catch it. And then same thing on this bodice part right here. I'm just feathering over it, letting the other part, you know, settle into the shadows. And it can be darker underneath there because it's being covered. Same thing here. We're gonna catch the edge of this, like this. Okay, so anyway, I would dress up in Hot Topic goth clothes, and I would just go and dance and have fun. And because I didn't care about being part of the scene, the goths accepted me and they liked me and they considered me goth, even though I really wasn't. It's just that I didn't care, and so that they kind of liked that. That's kind of how you had to be. Okay, so see how I'm feathering that down on the top of that? Now, if you want to do fancy freehand, there's a whole dragon picture. You can see this elaborate dragon, and I did that on mine. But I think we'll try doing a simplified version of that for this tutorial, because I'm trying to make like this accessible. You want to drag out the example and see if you can try freehanding it yourself. Otherwise, I think just this. And also, you need to get out a little bit of this. This needs to be lighter too. We're going to catch this edge. I'm using the pale skin, and I'm just catching the edge of everything. This is the pale skin, and I'm gonna do the little fleur-de-lis button here. Get the edge of her bodice. All right, I'm gonna catch chat because I know you guys were talking. Oh, from the early 90s to about 2004, I was part of a group that ran all of the largest of the World of Darkness LARPs and all of the... Oh, Thunder Speaks. We are only a couple degrees of separation. All geeks are somewhat related. And I... Aww. Vazimolo, thank you so much for the follow. And so, same thing to... How do I say that? Big Boy DPS? Awesome. Welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Nothing, we're all mad here. What's the difference between a nerd and a geek? So I guess a geek can be somebody who's obsessed about a certain theme. Like we would be considered miniature geeks. A nerd might have more of a intellectual connotation. Somebody who is more book smart, you know. I'm definitely a geek. Did I ever attend any of the conventions during that time? Yes, I went to Gen Con, and I only LARPed at a World of Darkness LARP. I never did Camarilla LARP. I only did one World by Night. But that was the only one. I never went to Origins. I did also go to Midwinter. If you've heard of Midwinter, that's a big One World by Night LARP. What are the little sculpted nubs where the sprue, on the sprue with the little tiny helmet wings? Oh, those, keep those. They fit into the head, and they're little pegs to help you glue them in. Don't cut those off. Ray Silver, I met Shoshi at Gen Con briefly and then ran away. Yes. Ray Silver, I don't know if you saw, but I did make a building See, I keep trying to go back to this and smooth this out a bit. I don't like all the little streaks. But I guess it's okay because it's, there we go, that's better. So notice this is drying flat, that's good. I'm gonna add a little bit of basic flesh to my orange. And I'm just gonna try to kind of make a freehand design here. I know how to draw, so this is gonna be a lot easier for me than it will be for somebody who doesn't know how to draw. But you see how I just made the two? They're not symmetrical though, that's the only thing. So I'm just kind of sketching over myself. Oh, see? And I make mistakes, and I'm gonna fix it. There, that's better. And if I need to paint back over it, I can. Crocodile, you gotta run. Parents are going away, and you've got to go learn to feed their cat. All right, Crocodile, I hope I see you again soon. Have a good day. Good day. Get it? I'm just kidding. That was bad. Okay, now, so when I got the light part on here, then I can go back over it with the orange. All right, where's my dragon's face gonna be? It's gonna be somewhere in here. I'm just gonna give it myself other little M shapes or V shapes here. I'm glad you laughed. That's funny. Try to make it symmetrical. Hard to do on stream. All right, and then it kind of goes in like this, like a C shape. And then they have kind of another pointing part here. And then at the bottom, it looks like there's some kind of little, I don't know what this is, but there's some other little design. There's another fleur-de-lis down here. At this point, I'm making things up, and that's okay. You can do whatever you want with freehand. You just want to make it look like you've kind of got some embroidery. You're basically making visual noise. Visual noise. That's a good way to put it. You want to go home and paint? That's good. I'm glad I'm inspiring you, Super Sarah. I'm so glad. All right, now I'm just touching up and fixing up stuff so it looks more straight. And then I'll go in with my lighter color, my oranger color. I'm just kind of filling in the empty spaces. I'm just making visual noise. Trying to make it look like it's embroidered somewhat. Let's go ahead and with this pale skin on the edge of here. Oops, that's too bright. So go back and fix it. There, that fixed it better, much better. Fake it till you make it. So it looks sort of embroidered, doesn't it? Bonded gaps in the Kingdom Death Baby Spider so you can cry them good. Puns are always good. You should have seen the Christmas t-shirt. T-Rex. Oh no, Tree Rex. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. See you, Crocodile. All right, what's next? Oh, so this is the orange again. Right here on this little skull baby. I'm using the flat orange, the Aldebaran orange on that part. Okay. I just noticed there are some slight, tiny highlights with the, we're going to use the pale skin and just put tiny, bright white highlights just in some spots on these two. Here, hold on, this one here. And on this one right here. I like that, kind of separates the wings from the rest of it. All right. Now, let's do the eye sockets of the skulls. Yay, I don't think the charity's working anymore, but thank you so much for the cheer. Is the charity over? I think it might be over. My screen keeps dying on me. There you go. Come on. Get my monitor back so I can read you guys. All right, so for the skull, the breast skulls, I just noticed there's a little mistake right there, which I can fix later. So we need the black. This is the Negro Gray, and I'm just going to go into the eye socket here and fill that in. And into the nose hole. That is the technical term, nose hole. Something like this. A little bit of, this is the, Arbuckle's brown. Arbuckle's brown. There we go. And all this, hold on, I'm going to take a peek at my example. It looks like I used a lot of Arbuckle's brown for my shadows. Uber Toluki? Uber Toluki? Is that how I say it? Toluchi? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Hopefully you are doing well today. All right, so get all of the spots that would normally be with the black primer. You can see where the black primer is versus the light, and get all of that covered with the Arbuckle's brown. And you can remember how we talked about glazing it. It's actually okay to glaze that. If you want to glaze over, no, I don't want to glaze over that part because I want this to be light. So I'm just going to glaze over the dark spots. So in here, this is a shadowed area, this is a shadowed area. Find those shadowed areas. That's where you want to put your Arbuckle's brown. Okay. There you go. And then, like I said, I've just kind of layered in the colors there. Now for the next colors, I think I used the Barrett blue, or sorry, Barrett red, and some light skin. Hello. Make a mix. See how I mixed that into a salmon color? It's right here. This is the Barrett blue and light skin. And if you look at our reference, look at how unsmooth this is. So this is not too hard, but we're going to just sketch in those colors. See, now that's already too light, so I need to add some more orange. I'm going to add the Alderaan orange. That's about right. Take a little bit of this and wet blend. This is the Arbuckles. I'm wet blending it in. I've got both colors on my brush right now. And I'm using that to spread around that color. Get my orange again. This side can have a lot more orange and a little bit of mayhem red. A little bit. Just actually, that's probably too much mayhem red. I'm going to get some arbuckles instead. There we go. That's better. A lot of wet blending on this. I'm going to do this fast because you have to, because it's wet blending. You've got to keep it. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That orange right there. See how that looks? I'm hoping that you're watching where I'm dipping my paint. So I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. It's okay, see how it's not blended. This part up here, make that orange, thin orange, because I don't want it to be too bright. Let's add a little bit of pale skin to it. Oh, do we have some hype? Overtoast says it's kind of like that. Thanks. I've been following you on Instagram for a while. I was browsing here and saw the vampire and went, hey, I've seen that somewhere. Awesome. Awesome. And Ray Silver found the YouTube video. We have we had a priming video where we primed it and where we put this together. You know, I'm so glad to hear, Uber, that you came here from Instagram, because I was just starting to consider not promoting on Instagram my Twitch channel, because I don't know that I get a lot of followers from Instagram, and it's really, really good to hear when somebody comes from there, because it shows that, you know, even if I only promote, you know, and somebody comes once in a while, it's still worth it. I'm really glad to have you here. What? Oh, the sprue tongues. Yes, that's what it's called. Most people left them off of it. 3 pieces. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. There were 3 pieces to this model that were like a little tongue that sticks out, and Karol told me it's not necessary. You don't have to use it. And we did not, because it wasn't, I didn't like it. I just didn't. All right, this is just the pale skin. Just pale skin. And we're gonna kind of lay in, I'm following this as a guide. I wanna put, let me show you. Try not to, I'm gonna be putting pale skin here, here. You see how the light hits here and then squiggles down a little bit, lays across this brow bone, squiggles down here, goes across down here, and then it mostly stops. And then over here, it does the same thing, squiggles down. That is how we're going to pretend we are the light. We're going to pretend that the light is bouncing off this part right here. And you can actually squiggle it in down here. There's, see the brow bone? Down here a little bit, and then across that. See what that does? And I'm gonna just blend this in a little bit with a little bit of that peachy color we already made. See that? And I'm gonna catch this part on the cheekbone. I'm just imagining the light is hitting from this side, and where would the light be if I were the light? I would touch here. There we go. And this part right here. See? See how that looks? And a little bit over here, just a little bit. And a little bit here. Catching it. I will go ahead and put some peach in. There's like a little septum in here. Just catch that. And I'm really not trying to blend this too much. I'm just kind of, it's very painterly, because that's how the art looks And now here is the pale skin again, just pale skin, and I'm not trying to blend it in, I'm just painting it right on. It's gonna look like a painting in 3D. See how that looks? And just a tiny bit of this peach over here. And like I said, I'm just copying the artwork. Sometimes for me, that's easier than trying to paint something on my own. Okay, and now, same thing on this side, a little bit of that. Ooh. And we can always cover if we need to, there. Yeah, I had to ask Karol about them because I did not know what they were, and he doesn't have them in any of the pictures. Deoxyribonucleic acid is now following me. Oh my gosh. I got that. I pronounced that right. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Somebody remind me what that is, because I know I know it, but I know. I'm going to set this aside for 1 second. I'm going to let this sit down, and I'm going to take another drink. Give me 1 second. DNA. That's it. Thank you, guys. You're so awesome. Hype DNA. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to mute while I guzzle down some pop. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm unmuted. Aw, I'm so glad to have you following us, DNA. Can I call you that? We just finished this skull, and you can see how rough it is. Let me show you a little bit of a close-up. See how? And what I'll do is I'll just kind of go in and paint it some more. It's okay that it looks. Look at how it looks. We're looking at skull boobs. And then we'll do this side as well. And this one will have a little bit more light on it because it's coming from that direction. A little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, I just noticed I like having this ends of the bust like that. I've just got to feather it in. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to add a little bit more red to the sides of the skull as well. She looks wicked. Wicked, wicked. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back in here with my pale skin again. I'm going to take glasses off. I'm going to catch this edge. Make sure that's nice and crisp. Oh, it's good. Okay. So I've also noticed I need to go back in with my black, and I'm going to paint up close to these little epaulets or whatever they are called, and then I'm going to feather it back down with the Arbuckles brown, so it looks like it's going from black to the red. I need to be very careful. There's a line here. I'm holding my breath. That's better. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's this whole ridge that I think I'm gonna do with Arbuckles brown. Can you see it? that? That looks really good like that because let me see what I did on this one. Yeah, I did Arbuckles brown. Yeah, I messed up. I got it on top of that. That's okay because I can fix that. And there's a little divot down here. It'll be nice to see this on cam. Hard to see off cam. And then the black, the negro gray up in the shoulders. That's gonna be covered by wings anyway. You're not gonna see much of that. Get back to my Arbuckles brown and get this little edge, a little bit of black. Whenever I say black, what I mean is negro gray. It's just what I'm using instead of black. There, that's nice. I like that. Okay. Whew. I forgot I need a little bit more up here. Details, details. And I will probably need to go in with white and clean up around her skin. All right, I'm scared to do this part. I don't know why. Okay, let me look at we'll look at this skull. Compare, okay. Kind of do like a visual memorization, and then I'm gonna copy it onto this one. So I use my like peachy color up here. Oh, nope, first I'm gonna use my Arbuckles color up here in a glaze. See how it's thin? And then a little bit more orange. Oh yeah, that orange is what it needed. This is the, it's actually how do I say it? Barrett Red. Find it for you guys. I have it in the PDF. Don't forget that there's a PDF. I think I dropped it on the floor. There's a PDF of all the colors that I'm using on this model. I'll tell you in a second. Now I'm using the light skin and I'm just going to lighten it up straight on there. See how I wet blend that on there? That looks good. Those are pretty easy to paint because if you know how to highlight them, they always look right. All right, more Arbuckles. We're wet blending right in. Now we need to let that dry a little bit. See how fast that is? Okay, I'm gonna set that down a second. I'm gonna check chat, put glasses on, I'm trying to find this red that I was looking for. Here it is. Oh, that's Aldebaran red. I think I was using that too. Scale 7538. And the Harriet red is Scale Fantasy Games 05, which I think I'm using the Aldebaran red more. There are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. You all are English majors in my book. That's awesome. Can you tell I was an art major? That's funny. Well, I don't know why, but my screensaver keeps coming on today. Oh no, what happened? There we go. So somebody asked me, only if you lick your brush a lot. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions so far? I feel like it's almost 4:30. I'm just going to do one more thing over here. I feel like this needs to be a little bit transitioned in. There we go. See how I transitioned that a little bit by using that orange? Yeah. Let's do these little dudes right here, and then we'll call it, and we'll do the armor next, and this fancy little neck tattoo she's got. And then she'll be very close to being done. The armor is probably the next hardest part. But I'm happy to say the wings were not hard. I was very happy with how quick they went on, and this whole part back here is not hard at all. I hope I made it look attainable for you. More great progress. Yes, let's do these little dudes here. I'm going to use my Arbuckles brown. Notice we've hardly used any colors. That's the other nice thing about this bust, is just the lack of colors. I'm going to add a little bit of this orange on this side, wet blend it in. It's technically Barrett blue, or Barrett red rather. See how it goes on the glazes, so nice. Okay, let that dry a little bit, and then we need to edge it. This is, I think, supposed to have sharp edges. Take a little bit of Aldeburn red, or yeah, this is the flat red that I've got. So do you see how that's not showing up real well because it's transparent? So I don't need to keep trying with that. I can go back with my pale skin, do my edge of pale skin instead. All of the little edges here. There's an edge on the top, and then there's an edge on the bottom, and there's another edge right here. Flip it. See how it goes? Ah, that'll get painted. Do this side over here again. So now, this is where you do the cleanup with little arbuckles. Just make those edges real sharp. Clean it up so that they look real crisp. You might need to, I would need to normally take my glasses off for this. I think it's gonna work. And a little mayhem red in the middle. Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, okay. Kind of have to go back and forth until you get those lines exactly how you want them. If I need to clean that up again, I have to wait for it to dry. Same thing on this side. Using the edge of my brush to get those crisp white edges. And the smaller brush might be a little bit easier, but it's going to dry out on your brush more likely. Okay, I'm going to take glasses off and show this to you. Yes, limited palette is the best palette. I'm going to use a little bit of Mayhem Red and a little bit of Arbuckles Brown mixed together to fix my lines a little bit. Got my glasses off so I can see real well. Just a little bit more Arbuckles because it looks like the Mayhem Red is making it too transparent. Make these lines as thin as you can and still look good. Okay, and then I need a little bit of that peach color down here. Tie it into the skulls. And the peach color was a color that we mixed out of the Aldebaran red and the light skin. Okay guys, we're gonna be done with her probably in 1 or 2 more streams, probably 1. And then maybe a last stream to do touch up and to also mount on. I'm going to show also how to mount onto a plinth and everything. We're going to do the whole thing. And so what we should probably do, I'm debating. I'm going to save the giveaway for Monday. We're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to do a giveaway on each one. We'll do the painted, and I just realized that we didn't finish this part of the skulls. You saw how I did the first one, right? So you know how to complete it. So we got to finish the skulls too. At least you saw me do the first one. Just it's a mirror. You're just going to put a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more orange. A little bit more red. Can be very painterly. That's what I like about that part. Okay, it's time to go. I'm gonna go ahead and find somebody to host. I believe Flixer would normally be on, but he's taking the day off. I'm gonna see who is on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch musics. There we go. All right, guys, let's do Mad Love. We're gonna find somebody awesome to host. I want you to stick around, and we're gonna raid into somebody awesome. Go ahead and copy and paste this if you want. If you want to use my emotes instead, if you're a subscriber, please do. We'd love to have you use those. By rating people, we're supporting other people in the. Ooh, you know what? My favorite DJ is on Obaka TV. He is a German DJ who I love. You guys know I love him. We're gonna raid him. We're supporting other Twitch streamers as well as promoting ourselves a little bit. So here we go. Here's Obaka. You guys might like this. He's really fun to, hold on, I gotta erase that. Dang it. We'll be back tomorrow because we're gonna do this every day. Oopsie whoopsie, Obaka. There you go. All right, guys. Is it raid already? I think it raided. All right. Have a good one. Bye.